There are almost 5,000 ETFs to choose from, and that is exactly why most beginners freeze, overthink it, and never actually start. So let me make things simple for you. I'm going to give you 4 complete ETF portfolios, from the one fund version you could set up in less than a minute, all the way to a more hands-on setup for people who like to tinker in the stock market. In the end, you'll know exactly which one fits you the best. Portfolio 1 is the easiest on the planet. You put 100% of your money into a single fund. That's the whole strategy. For most people, that fund is VOO, Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF. One purchase and you instantly own a slice of the 500 biggest companies in America. Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, all of it in one ticker. Now, if you want to be even more diversified, you've got 2 easy swaps. Want the entire US market and not just the biggest 500? Use VTI, the total market fund. Want the whole planet, the US plus international? Use VT, the total world fund. Same idea, you cast a wider net, you can pick one, and then you just move on. And here's why this works. It's diversified and it's brutally cheap. VOO's fees is 0.03%, which is basically nothing. And historically, the S&P 500 has averaged around 10% a year over the long run. You're not trying to be clever, you're just owning America's best businesses and letting time do the work for you. This portfolio is 100% stocks. That means when the market drops, you drop with it. The full ride, no cushion. In 2008, a portfolio like this got cut roughly in half. So the real question isn't whether this is a great portfolio on paper. The question is whether you could watch it fall 50% and not panic sell at the bottom. If you can, this might be all you ever need. Portfolio 2. This comes straight from the most famous investor alive, Warren Buffett. In his own will, he laid out instructions for the money he's leaving his wife. Not a hedge fund, no stock picking, nothing crazy. Roughly 90% in a low-cost S&P 500 index, and 10% in a short-term cash-like holding. So in our version, 90% VOO, 10% cash. That 10% cash does 2 jobs. First, it's your shock absorber. When the market tanks, you're not fully exposed. Second, it's dry powder. When everyone else is panicking, you've got enough cash ready to buy the dip or to cover a surprise expense so you never have to sell your VOO at the worst possible time. On 100 grand, that's 90,000 working in the market and 10,000 sitting in cash. And these days, that cash isn't even lazy. It can earn around 4% in a money market or high yield savings account while it waits. In a roaring bull market, that 10% of cash will drag your returns down a little bit because cash doesn't compound like stocks do. You're giving up a sliver of upside for a bit of a calmer ride and a little bit of ammo for when you want to deploy it. Portfolio number 3 adds one more thing. That's bonds. This is the classic 3-bucket setup: stocks, bonds, and cash. A simple version might be 70% VOO, 25% bonds, like BND or AGG, and 5% cash. And that split isn't a law. The younger you are, the more you lean towards stocks. The closer to retirement, the more you shift towards bonds and cash. The idea is balance. Bonds usually move differently than stocks, so when the market has a bad year, your bonds and cash help cushion the fall. Now, rebalancing a mix like this, knowing when to shift between stocks, bonds, and cash, is where a lot of people get stuck. That's exactly the kind of thing I walk through with real dollars inside the Boring Money Club on Patreon, along with my actual holdings and monthly updates. If you want to invest alongside a community playing the long game, the link is in the description. Now, with bonds, they're not a magic force field. In 2022, stocks and bonds fell together, a nasty year that surprised a lot of people. And over a long enough horizon, adding bonds means a lower final number than going all in on stocks. So what are you actually buying? Again, this smoother ride in exchange for a slightly smaller pile at the end. For the right person, that smoother ride is the difference between staying invested and bailing out. Portfolio number 4 is a specific type of person, the one who knows they're going to want to tinker within their portfolio. You've kind of got an itch, you want to pick a stock or buy something like QQQM or chase a theme you believe in, that's fine. But let's put up some guardrails on it so you don't blow yourself up. Here's how it works. Your core, about 90%, stays boring. VOO, a bond ETF, and cash. just like portfolio 3. Then you carve out a small sleeve, like 5 to 10%, and that's your playground. That 5 to 10% is where you can buy individual stocks, thematic ETFs, whatever scratches the itch. If your picks go to zero, the absolute worst case, you lose 5 to 10% of your portfolio. You're not bruised, not destroyed. Meanwhile, 90% of your money keeps compounding the whole time. Here's my take as a long-term investor. Most active picks underperform just buying the index over time. So keeping this sleeve small isn't me being a killjoy, it's kind of the whole point. It lets you play the game without letting the game decide your retirement. So for portfolios, which one do you start with? Let me make it simple stupid for you. Brand new and want zero maintenance? Portfolio 1. One fund and you're done. Want a little cushion and some dry powder? Portfolio 2. Want a smoother ride or you're getting closer to retirement? Maybe you kind of rotate into portfolio 3. And if you know you're going to tinker and want to buy some crazy stuff, portfolio 4. Give yourself a sandbox with a fence around it. The best portfolio on this list is not the one with the highest theoretical return. It's the one you'll actually stick with through a crazy market. A simple portfolio you hold for 30 years beats a perfect portfolio you panic out of in year 3. The fund you stick with beats the fund you abandon every single time. Boring and consistent wins. So there's your starting point. The one fund, the Buffett, the one you can sleep at night, and the one with the sandbox to play in. Pick the one that matches how you're wired, automate it, and then let it run. Now I'm curious, which of the 4 are you starting with? Drop the number 1 through 4 in the comments and tell me why. If this made ETFs feel less overwhelming, do me a favor and hit the like button and the subscribe button for more investing deep dives. And if you want my actual portfolio and monthly updates, the Boring Money Club link is in the description. If you want to go deeper on that very first fund, watch this video next. I break down VOO versus SCHD and which one actually belongs in your portfolio. It's right here on the screen. I'll see you in the next one.